Welcome back to Broker Talk, our weekly half-hour show about the real estate industry from insiders. I'm Larry Lawfer, your host each week, and today's show is about gratitude. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to share appreciation for, and to return kindnesses. The show is vitally important right now at this time in our history and culture. Gratitude is the warm feeling of thankfulness towards the world or towards specific individuals. The person who feels gratitude is thankful for what they have and does not constantly seek more. Success is measured in many ways, and the path towards that defined success is always paved with gratitude for the gifts, opportunities you have been given, and for the way you share those kindnesses in return. Gratitude is an expression of appreciation for what one has in recognition of value independent of the monetary worth. Every year, with this last show of the year, I invite friends, colleagues, and grateful people I know to share their words with us today. Kate Lanagan MacGregor has been on the show many times, and this is her third gratitude show. Welcome, Kate, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too, Larry. And I love the new music at the beginning. I just can't stop dancing.
Thanks so much. Tom Truong is a dynamo of energy, activity, and success. He is the epitome of givers get. What he gives back to his community and industry is immense and measurable. Like Kate, Tom is a teacher. Welcome back to the show, Tom.
Larry, thank you for having me back in your final show of 2021, man. It's been a hell of a year. And thank you for your consistency. I'm grateful for you, Larry. Of course, grateful to be on this call with you, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's go around and each of us talk about how you personally show gratitude and what that means for your family, yourself, and your business. Kate, would you like to start?
Sure. So gratitude is a practice that I've been practicing for many, many years. And it started out as a gratitude list. And then it kind of grew into a gratitude practice of thanking other people. A lot of times would say thank you notes and gifts and pop-by gifts and all that kind of thing. So systemizing gratitude back to the people. Recently this year, I have a planner, a program that was for agents that was designed. And in it, we built in different segments that incorporate the gratitude as a system and as a no-brainer activity, as a ritual. And so those kinds of things show up in ways to be grateful for your own successes, grateful for the actions that you do that maybe no one ever sees, grateful for it. And this is something that was super important for this year, was grateful for connection and conversation. And so it's kind of come a little bit full circle in some ways, but we really institutionalized the idea of gratitude because I really do believe that a grateful heart, will not fail.
Does not fail. And Tom, how about you?
The way I show appreciation, and I think we talk to our team about that, is continuously trying to send out thank you cards or thank you notes. And for me, we send out thank you gifts. November was a big month for us where we had our team send out Note-vember. That was not my idea, right? Not my idea, but we picked that up and we challenge everyone to send out at least 30 notes of thank you, of finding appreciation, things like that. But really on a continuous basis, Larry and Kate, I text people all the time. I give them a call. I praise them. I give thanks on social media, by email. I mean, there's so many ways, and it doesn't take long to do so, right? Social media, like on Facebook, it always tells us, whose birthday is coming up. And boy, if that person is someone who's special to me, and I'm grateful for them, I want to make sure they know that I'm grateful for them, and I get very specific about what actions that they brought to enhance my life, to enhance our organization, to enhance our industry. And so I think saying thank you and saying that I'm grateful for you, Larry, is cool, but also driving it a little bit deeper, right? I'm thanking you for Kate Lanagan for continuing to hold such high standards, to upkeep a code of ethics, and to do her training, her CE credits for our organization, for the Realtor Association. Those are very specific things that I know, Kate goes out of her way to deliver value, right? Larry, and you just by mere doing this show, bringing in, showcasing talent and giving thanks to us and vice versa, basically sends that message out consistently that, don't take things for granted. And so we do that all the time. Little text, little messages here and there go a long way. Sometimes it's just leave a voicemail. Says, hey, Larry, I'm just thinking about you, man. No need to call me back. Just want to say, I love that post that you did about X, Y, and Z.
Right, right. And recently, well, the last year and a half, and you guys will get one later, this week between Christmas and New Year's, I do a series of bomb short videos where I talk directly to my clients or my colleagues, and I say something specific to them. Tom, that meeting we had in the middle of the year, I learned so much. I don't want to spoil it because you're going to get it tomorrow, but
It's funny you say bomb. I don't use bomb personally. I have another program called CRM Grow that I use, but in the same concept. When you guys, when you, the audience, send me a bomb, I can't delete that because you guys can tell whether I opened it up or not and how much of it I watched. So boy, if I knew you took the time to record that for me, I better watch the whole gosh darn thing. And I love that.
And it's such a short thing to do. It takes less time than actually writing and mailing a thank you note. But it's not about the time, it's about the thought. And it's a thought in the face of, let's talk the negative part of it. Our business, people are often want to say very negative things to us about or to us about a house, about sharing, not being reactive, but trying to understand why or how they're saying it. And then being grateful for that communication gives you the opportunity then to turn around and change it, alter it, make it better. That's what negotiation is. So many agents don't realize that we're all in this together. And if we work better for our clients, we work better for our communities. And I think gratitude is a big step in that. I mean, gratitude, and you started with it. I looked up the steps of gratitude. The first one is thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing what you do. Thank you for being who you are. And the end part of that is you have to be grateful for yourself. I'm grateful for all the extra pounds I have. I'm not actually, but I'm grateful I can go and exercise and get rid of all those extra pounds.
Well, we're grateful to be alive, right? We're grateful to be on this beautiful planet Earth, right? We're grateful to have our friends and our family. And I mean, a lot of that sounds corny, but it really isn't if you get down to the details and get down to the nitty gritty about what the folks in our spheres of influence bring value to our life. And I think the more you get specific about that, the more it means a lot more to them when you can express exactly what you're grateful for, rather than just being, I'm thankful for, or
whether you gave a general thank you, right? So the general thank you, they don't know what they did a good job on, whatever. So both of you guys identified that you find that special something, that special sauce that you have with that person when you are reaching out in gratitude. And I think that that's enormous. And you said something, Larry, about, sometimes it's tough because it's like, sometimes there's not the gratitude that's going on. And there's a saying that I say every time I teach code of ethics, every time I teach classes is beware of common enemy intimacy, which is that you and I hate the same people. So now we're bonded, right? Because that's not the basis of true bonding. So, one of the things I love about realtors, in Massachusetts, 15,000 strong, is that we can change the tide one step at a time of making it a positive experience. And I say that all the time. Our solution is to be the light. And so, we don't have to engage in that. And the less that we engage, the less it's going to happen. And, and we can move ourselves forward from that. And, so I think that like that living, walking, talking gratitude in a way of being grateful for our profession, our lives, our clients, our colleagues is something that, can be contagious. So I think that you both are perfect examples of doing that exact thing.
If it's not contagious, Kate, it certainly is. No, if it's not contagious, because the agent next to us may not be that way. But if we are like that, the agent that we're dealing with is always going to remember us as that person. So the next
Absolutely.
time we run into them, or if they're in an office where we had, and we can call them and talk to them, how can I get this
Yeah.
to work better? It's infectious in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, talk about infectious. Kate, you mentioned some. What? Say that line again, where you say we can get agents sort of can get negative, and then you don't want to participate in that
Oh, the
negativity.
common enemy intimacy.
Common
So common enemy intimacy means
I
that like I'm
that.
at a networking in the neighborhood event, and you and I look at each other and we're like, hey, have you ever worked with Larry before? And we both roll our eyes, right? So we think we have connection, but it's false connection. And as we walk away, what we're thinking is not like we're better bonded. What we're thinking is, I wonder what he says about me behind my back. So one of the things that we can do just with our little feet on the ground is we can turn it into a situation where it's a positive situation. And that will breed gratitude. And I see it happening all the time. I have been preaching this for a while because I think it's so important. We are so lucky. We have the best profession that there is. Yeah. And we are able to reach so many people in such a positive way. We can't give up on that messaging ever.
Right. Common enemy intimacy. This happened to me yesterday at Home Depot. So I just moved from one home in Southborough to another home here, and we're setting up an on Home Depot. And I didn't wear a mask walking into Home Depot, right?
Yeah.
And I walked in and I went down an aisle and I asked the Home Depot employee who was wearing a mask about something, and he goes, "Stop, right? Stop! You're not wearing a mask. So stay your 6 feet distance."
Yeah.
I immediately stopped. I said, I can appreciate that. Yeah. And I proceeded to ask him the questions because I respected his space. And what happened then, guys, is as I turned around and I got what I needed, the information I needed, I walked away. Another person behind me started to get negative about, I can't believe that employee said that to you, blah, blah, blah. And I could have gotten negative with him. But I said, you know what? No, I totally respect their space. I respect and I appreciate that they have their own space, and this is what's important to them. And it's a reminder for me that, boy, I can choose not to wear a mask if I don't want to, but boy, I should respect that 6 foot thing, right? And if they're wearing a mask, then they're wearing for a reason. Who knows what's going on in their life? And I don't want to prejudge, and I don't want to get down and negative about it. Yeah, and then, I love it. When that happened, though, guess what? We're still in earshot distance with that employee. And when I was checking out, he went out of his way, Kate and Larry, to come up to me and says, "Hey, I appreciate the way you handled that." Right. And that is being grateful for having other people keeping me in check.
Yeah. You know,
little too much mask rage and road rage out there. But go ahead, Kate.
Well, I was going to say 2 things. One was, it's easy to be grateful when times are going well, right? It's easy for us to love everyone when everything's so awesome. So one of the things that I feel like this year has done for us is it has really had us stop short and say, all right, so how do I find the positive in this? How do I build from this? How do I let go of the negativity so that it doesn't impact me? And how can I be a messenger that we can move forward? And I'll give you an example of this, speaking of masks and rage and COVID and everything. So I'm from a huge family. I married into a huge family. And we have maskers, we have non-maskers, we have vaxxers, we have non-maxers. My daughter is a COVID nurse and she is so emphatic about it. So we have like such a, I'm going to call it a stew because it is certainly not a soup, right? So everybody is like doing their own thing and like, but we just had like this most amazing holiday with everybody down, the family together for the first time in 2.5 years. And it was just beautiful and it was wonderful, right? And so as we're basking in that, all of a sudden people start getting positive tests. So now we have to pivot, And one of the things that I learned from this, and again, being sharp on gratitude and being sharp on looking for positive things, I'm like, you know what? It makes us realize that we only have right now. And so when we only have right now, we want to be able to express this is why I said I do a lot more conversations than the notes and the letters even, is because I want to capture that precious present every minute that we get, and it was, it was a spectacular time. We are now pivoting and rebounding and, all that kind of stuff. And, I don't know, the thing is, we don't know what they've gone through. We don't know what their situation is. And we don't know what their 10 days out of work is going to look like. For us, we can work from home.
Right.
You can't be a cashier from home, So anyways, it's been a lesson. I actually did a thing in which I haven't finished it, but it's about the lessons we've learned from a bug, right? The COVID bug. And it's pretty interesting. Some really good business lessons. But anyways, we're getting off topic. Let's get back to our gratitude.
No, that totally was in the topic. I want to help people. We do have, this isn't Pollyanna. You can't change your life just by being grateful, especially if someone is being horrible to you or dishonest or deceitful or trying to steal from you. Those things happen. And,
you do.
The idea isn't to cover it over with, oh, I'm so grateful I had this, challenge and now I've lived through it. I think that you have to be grateful for your ability to understand what's happening and sidestep those things. One of the ways I've always done that is I trust someone until they can't be trusted. The minute
Yes.
they can't be trusted, I catalog it like, oh, this said, and then that was the action, and those don't meet. So in my database, I have a thing called the Hall of Shame, and I try to forget the bad things as quickly as they happen, but I take a note. So next year or the year after, I'll say, wait a minute, I remember that agency. I remember that agent. I go into my Hall of Shame, see if they're there and see, oh, that's it. That's it. And then I'm more prepared. And that makes me feel grateful for having done that and just gotten rid of the emotion. I don't know if that's just me or if other people like to do that, but.
Well, as long as I would say I sort of keep notes like that, Larry, in my database as well. But I think before I do that, I know that if I were going to do that, I'd make sure I have a second follow-up call. I have a one-on-one with them just to make sure that this is exactly how it transpired. This is how they reacted. I want to be sure that there was no miscommunication between the two of us, that I didn't interpret something wrong, right? And after that second conversation, and we still have a difference of opinion or difference of something, then I think, I'm not sure if that's something to be grateful for, but
it's coping. It's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, a coping mechanism, I guess. Yeah.
There's this thing about not being a doormat, right? And not being taken advantage of. One thing that I was thinking about, Larry, as you were saying that, is that, if we hold on sometimes to the negatives, like we don't know if they were having a bad day. This is what Thomas just talked about. We don't know if they're having a bad day. We don't know if they, what happened to them that morning. We don't. And real estate is hard. I mean, we are faced with rejection and difficulties a lot. And we have to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep moving forward. One thing that I have, to take it one step further in your Hall of Shame, is after I write down what they did and how much it bothered me, is I say, what was my part in it? And so that helps me because, sometimes I can be pushy or I can be, I am like aggressive, and sometimes that is off-putting. And sometimes I am so fast to come to like conclusion on things, I don't let it process. So one of the things I worked on this year was, as I said, was that listening and really trying to be a better listener and ask questions, hard questions that I don't even want the answers to. I know I don't want the answers to it, but I still ask those questions because I want to be better and I want to be better for them, and then we can move forward, and celebrate each other's differences maybe someday. And I appreciate what you're saying about the Pollyanna thing. But you know what? I have to say, like, practicing gratitude, when you practice gratitude. So first of all, the first thing that happens, right, is we're giving a gift to that person. And that feels so good, right? The other thing is, while we're looking for who to thank, we're looking to catch people doing things right. Right. So while I'm looking to find somebody to send a thank you note to, maybe you're a guy at Home Depot, maybe to his boss to say that this guy really responded well to adversity, right? You're looking to catch someone doing something right. So you're already having a better outlook on life. But the third part, which I just never, ever anticipated, was the gift I gave myself, right? But the gift I gave myself and looking for positive things all the time, everywhere. And, as I say, like, I made a list here and I had to write it, like, half this stuff is could go good way or bad way. But I just think that it's important for us to remember that the gifts of gratitude and remembering that, with all of these hard things that have happened this year, and there's been so many, that we can celebrate the wins and the victories and the successes and just know that we're doing the best we can.
Do either of you have any gratitude that you say over and over again in your head? Say, for instance, if you're walking or uh, just a ritual. Do you have anything like that, Tom?
I do. I mean, I don't know if it's a ritual. It's just instinctively in me. I'm great. I say this internally all the time. I'm just grateful to have my health. I'm grateful to have, family and friends, and I'm grateful to have to be in a profession that I love. That doesn't feel like a job, right? And every time we have a closing, or I see that our team have a closing, and I'm grateful for our clients. I'm grateful for our bankers and our partners to be able to put all this together. So what I am very every day. That part goes through my head a dozen times a day. Just I'm grateful to just be breathing,
Yeah.
right? To be 6 feet above ground.
Yes.
I didn't
Because
know you were that tall.
we've all lost people, right?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
sadly. Yes.
Yeah, and that's life.
Yeah.
And losing some really close friends this year, and then in the past 3 weeks actually, has really made me a lot more grateful, Larry and Kate, about everything that I have. And it's gotten me to the point where, do I want to work that hard anymore? Should I go ahead and take a step back and retire? And then in thinking about this show this morning, I woke up, I'm like, okay, how am I going to share with Larry today, right? And here's my saying, and I've been saying it forever, but today it means even more, is I am grateful, but I'm not content. I'm not content because there's still a lot more work that I know I can do to help change lives, to help other people get to where they want to go. Because if the moment I decide I'm grateful and then I'm done, then how much more will I contribute to society? And I don't think I'll ever want to stop contributing to society.
I have a story I want to share. Growing up, my parents separated, elder brother, younger sister. When we had dinner, it was tough. We were all well, my sister wasn't quite a teenager, but my brother and I were. So it was kind of tumultuous in the house. My mother, when we were sitting at dinner, um, demanded that each of her children took 10 minutes and they had to say something that happened to them positive in their day, and that the other siblings couldn't say anything positive or negative about it, even though we were in the same school. Like, hey, I had a great day on, doing this or that. And my brother or my sister could have been there and say, no, you didn't, as siblings would. But it left us, years later, I realized that my mother had 30 minutes where we weren't arguing and she was eating her dinner.
I love it.
But what really happened is I went out in my day looking for that thing that I was going to tell positive around those 10 minutes. And I do that today. I'm always looking for what I can share with my
Love that.
wife. Yeah. And it was
I
just,
love that. Yeah, so I love that story. So my family, our immediate family, Marissa, my wife, Olivia and Chloe, we do this thing. It is actually a ritual. And it is what's your high and what's your low of the day. And that
We
happens
do
all the
too.
time. You
We
too,
do
right,
too.
Kate? What's your high
Highlight and
and
low
what's your
light.
low? And that
Highlight
high
and low
is a
light.
sense of
Yeah.
gratitude, right? And then
Yeah.
many times where many of us, the majority of us says, there isn't any low, right? And then so we get two highs then. But
Yeah.
that is actually a ritual that we do very often.
But you know what?
How do you guys do it, Kate?
So yes, we do the exact same thing, highlight and low light. But you know what? I do like the low light because it gives us permission to share pain and it gives us our fear or sadness.
Yeah.
Right. And right now with so much going on, like that low light is like a lot of times the conversation starts, and again, it ends up turning around. The conversations end up turning around to be impactful and powerful in a positive way.
Right.
Because we build on it. And like the fact that I can tell you that I'm afraid about this, or I'm frustrated about that, or I just, really got down on, this person who beat me up today and whatever, like when I can share that terrible part, honestly, no one ever has a solution, right? And I don't want a solution. I just want to say, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm, whatever, like whatever that low light is. And so I think it's a really cool, I think your mom was onto something, Larry, and yeah.
That's wisdom there.
Yeah, well, another thing that she did was shortly after my father left, she taught each of us how to make our favorite breakfast. Mine was pancakes, and we realized fairly quickly on that's how she got out of being around us when we were arguing about breakfast because we each could make our own favorite breakfast.
Yeah, and
We
she didn't
weren't
have to make
powered.
breakfast for you. Yeah, she didn't have to do the breakfast duty. She's a smart
Love it.
lady. Just like Tom Finn, right? Whatever, like painting the white fence, and you guys thought you were so smart.
Yeah, Huck Finn,
Oh my
Tom
gosh.
Sawyer.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
But the mantra I have always said, and for years, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my son and all the things we've done. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my wealth. I'm grateful. And it's like as I'm walking, it's in my head, and it's when those things, when that negative thing, that somebody said something and you should have said something back, it pops back in your head, like the old Saturday Night Live, Jane, you ignorant slut, you know.
that's my mantra.
That's funny.
How'd you guess? Oh,
And then once I'm on to feeling gratitude, then I don't feel um, that other. I don't give it fuel. I don't give
yeah.
the bad feeling the fuel. I give the
Don't give
good
it the
feeling the
fuel. Yeah.
fuel.
Yeah.
You know.
What Kate said earlier, right? The low light. I mean, just the ability just to share something bad, and you're not looking for a solution, but to
No, I
just
mean,
someone to be there to hear it, for you to
yeah.
just get it out of your system, right? That's that
Yeah.
old adage, right? Don't ever go to bed upset. Get it off your chest, right?
Yeah.
And so that allows us to do that. It's a release.
Yeah, it was really helpful when the kids were small too, like when they, when things were rough and it was a safe place to just say it. And, and of course, like the kids weren't allowed to make fun of the person who said it or anything. And, but it was, and my husband too, he doesn't like to share like negative stuff either. So it's just a nice ritual. I think what I'm hearing us today talking about is that gratitude goes both ways, the happy and carefree, but also the struggle. And that is something that I think is really going to be a lesson from this era, these last couple of years.
Right.
I'm grateful this era is coming to an end,
Yeah, hell yeah.
or at least this particular year.
Here's
Yes,
to
I agree with all
2022,
that.
baby. It's going to be an amazing year in 2022. 2021 was great, and I think 2020 was awesome as well. It's really how we all dealt with the challenges, with the adversities, and I think most of us, especially our profession guys, we came out stronger. I think that as a community, the Realtor community came out stronger, came
Yes,
out better. Our
100%.
leadership got better. All of it, all around. So.
Well,
Yeah.
you had said that early on that Kate, that we are this time alone, and this time in this situation has rearranged our priorities.
Yeah.
Different things are important to us now. Health, more than anything.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
you were talking about Home Depot, I wear a mask because my son is getting married January 15th. I can't get sick now.
You can't get sick.
No,
Yeah,
no.
you can't
I
afford, you
don't
don't want
want
to
to
miss
get sick.
that.
Yeah,
You don't want to get sick. Yeah,
yeah.
I get that. Yep.
So very, very careful. But
Yeah.
I'm careful anyway in most
Yeah.
regards. Health is very important. I am
Yeah.
so pleased and grateful to have both of you as colleagues and friends, people I
Yes.
know I
Me
could
too.
call.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's been great, and I look forward to successful years on both of your sides. I know my
Thank
year
you.
was the most successful I've ever had. I'm looking for another one.
All
Financially,
right.
for sure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, thank
exactly.
you, Larry, for inviting us on. It is a true
Thank
pleasure
you.
and an honor to be here with you, Kate. Didn't know I was going
Yes.
to get to share this
I
30 minutes with
know.
you, but I'm really glad we did. I'm grateful for you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Happy New Year,
both.
everybody.
Happy New
You
Year to
guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome to Broker Talk. Join us again next week.
Recording stopped.
Terrific.
All right.